فخرية.
أيوة دكتور.
I don't know. Should we start? Because maybe
we can start.
Yeah,
Please.
okay.
Start when we are.
Okay. Would you like to have any introduction or something, Fakhriya, or go ahead?
Better introduction, madam. Short introduction.
Okay. And let's go ahead. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So welcome to today's presentation. I'm happy that you are here. First, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Shada Al-Amri. Currently, I'm head of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Department. I started exploring innovation in 2018. And just 2 years ago, I became the HOD for the department. I'm an academic person, so from IT department here in College of Technology. So I started 2007. Now it's about like 14 years in lecturing. And my research field is computer science. That because my bachelor is as well in computer science from SQU in 2005. And then I got my master from UK, Loughborough University in 2007. It was about internet computing and network security. After that, I got my PhD in 2017. And the research was in cloud computing and security, basically in access control security. So this is brief about myself and my research. And today is just, I would like to share with you some tips that based on the accumulative experience, but still I'm learning, because whenever you feel that you learn something, you find out that something else you need to learn it, okay? So let me go ahead. Before we going, and let me ask you a question. So why we need to do a research? So over here, we're gonna just have a little bit everyone to be with us and to try to kind of, let's say, strong brainstorming. So we're gonna write it down. So let's have like 2 minutes to find from you what you think about why we need to do a research. What do you think? Why we need a research? Why to bother ourselves and do research? It is a bothering.
To find solution to the existing problems.
Okay. So let's write it down. So to find some solution.
To find solution to the existing problems.
To solve some, let's say, problems. Okay. Someone else? What do you think? Why you need to do a research?
I think there's a gap in the issue. This we have to fill it up to bridge.
Okay, so that's issues, yeah. So maybe there are some issues,
Gap.
needs or gaps needs to clarify out.
To make
Okay,
contribution, madam, in scientific community, to make new contributions or
Okay,
to
so
develop
put
new
it-
frameworks. And
That's
another
great.
point is, yeah, if we will do research, it will open our mind and it will also improve our teaching.
Okay.
We can be a good teacher. We can relate some more examples. What we are doing, any research, we can teach better to our students. This is, I think, one advantage. What I feel.
So there are some knowledge you're gonna gain because you are doing research. So you're gonna enlarge your knowledge.
And the way of your delivery in classes, it will be different. If you did some research, you can
Yes,
teach
that's-
better. Yeah.
Yep.
And also for the
that's-
new contribution for scientific community, it will open our
Yeah,
mind
to
actually. Yeah.
Yes. For the
Good
scientific
morning, doctor.
community.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
why we do research is to do the professional, personal, and social development.
Personal aspects. So at the end, you're gonna develop yourself. somehow development. Okay, so if no one wants to add something, we're gonna proceed. Anyone want to add something else?
Also maybe try to research, maybe to get the latest news.
Okay, so we, yeah.
Do not get the
We
latest
are-
news.
Your voice a little bit, okay. What I understand is like to know the trend. So to know what is there and the trend, the latest, yeah, the trending. Okay, so.
Another point is for the survival, madam, we need PhD degree. Otherwise, you cannot get a good job.
Yeah, so
This
for
is
the degree,
another issue.
yeah, so for the degree and as well to, let's say, even to in your job, to a little bit to elevate in your job, to go next level. So you need to do some research as well. So for the degree, for the job itself. Okay, so my board is now full. So let's somehow, yeah, all the points are valid and critical, and somehow we are in the same boat. So let's proceed. So this is why, because if there is a need, then you'll do it. Otherwise, normally human beings need to be encouraged to do something. So this is a kind of like some of the reasons why to extend knowledge, as you have everyone, some of you have even mentioned it, because you should keep learning and the knowledge is developing. So if I did not do a kind of research, I will not know what is there. Even what I learn, it will be just stop in one level, it will not extend it. But if I do research, I'll extend my knowledge. Research for development, because I develop myself, develop the way how I'm teaching, for example, as well research for development, what is known as R&D. This is very, very critical aspects. R&D affecting even the economy of the countries. So R&D currently, it is considered as one of the inputs in increasing the GDP of countries. Many countries, the GDP is raising up because research for development. So this is one very, very critical issue. It's not like some people thought just well, just a paper and I publish and that's it. No, it will now going further for something called the knowledge-based economy. Now currently everywhere is going around. Another one for degree itself, because if you do bachelor, MSc or PhD, you need to do research. You need to have your thesis, and with the thesis itself, you need to do research plus publication, because normally in PhD there are some requirement. It is not just thesis writing, but you need as well to publish some journals or papers. So for the degree, as well to justify your opinion. If, for example, I'm saying this is the true way, and the other one say, no, this one is a better way. So how to justify? By doing some kind of research. So by researching to benchmark with other related issues, I can, for example, conclude, for example, a specific issue is this is the way how to solve it. So even for opinion, it's not just opinion, it will strengthen your discussion and your input with different levels. If it is like in a committee, if it is you are in school, if whatever things, it is give you strength if you do research. Support other disciplines, because nowadays we have a kind of supporting each other. The IT supporting science, supporting engineering, medicine, and so on. As you have noticed now, for example, now for COVID, different disciplines working together. So there is a health center working, but they need someone in technology to, for example, build the app. They need someone, for example, in statistics to analyze the big data is coming through and so on. So research will support different disciplines to work together and even get better results. So this is why we need to do research and we need to be a little bit, let's say, elevate ourselves in this area. So let's go next. So before we go to the tips, there is one important thing, how to encourage myself to be productive researcher. First of all, the enthusiasm. There, you should have something that will push you out to do research. So you have to have a little bit, a kind that make you alert, like I have to do, for example, one research a year, for example. So there should be something pushing you to do it. And you need to have deadline because, as I said, I'm talking about myself as well. If I don't have deadline, I'll be lazy. So when I want to do a kind of research, first I search for a deadline, then I start. And this is like, for example, let's say I want to do a research in IoT, for example. So I search for a journal deadline, a special issue, or let's say call for paper conference. So based on that deadline, I start to work it out to finish on time. As well, to be a productive, you need to know your strength. I need to know myself. If I know myself, then I know how to, where is my, let's say, direction and where to start. And this would be a good step as well to validate yourself and see where is your strength. You can just make them stronger. And then as well, find a reliable team. You can do a research by yourself, but when you work in team, you'll gain more value because you learn from each other. You can support each other. You can even finish on time faster. But here, you should be careful with the team. It's okay, I have a team, but not all of them expert. The most important thing is to be reliable, to work in harmony. Because if I have someone in the team, and everyone work in teams, if we have someone in the team is just like not working consistency, then it will affect the other members. So choosing team is important. If you don't have like as well, you will use. I did not open the video. Sorry, I should open at least the camera. So a little bit of attraction. Okay. And then, because teamwork, you will learn from them, and many as well, let's say, benefits from teamwork. And then the trend as well. So if I want to do a research, it's good that to find what is the trend in the research. So at least it will have value to be accepted in the, let's say, different, let's say, area. As well, confidence. Believe in yourself. You can have a very good piece of work. But if I say, oh, okay, no, I don't know, they will not accept my work, that means you just failed from the beginning. So start with yourself and be confident and just proceed. Okay, so this is some reasons, or let's say some things, some let's say tips that to push yourself and encourage yourself to be a productive researcher. As we mentioned before, the reasons, there is a lot of benefits to be, let's say, a very good researcher. Now we'll go for the more details. Research skills, this based on my opinion, can be categorized into the following. There are technical skills, okay? There are intellectual skills, and there are other soft skills, okay? Because currently, if you know let's say, some tips in technical, that will make your work easier. Okay, so there are some tips like how to do search, what kind of mechanism of documentation programs and softwares that will save time, effort, and make your work even, let's say, better. There are some intellectual skills like, the critical analysis, how I can link things together, how I can get innovative way of solving problems and so on. Because if your work is significant, important, critical, it will get accepted. And you will not waste your time. You will do something that have value. Okay, so you need to have some kind of analysis and intellectual, let's say, skills. And other soft skills like time management, documentation, and project management. So we'll go one by one in details. I try to have some examples. So by the way, this session is interactive. So after each portion, I'll just open the floor for 2 or 3 questions, okay? So let's proceed. In technical skills, I just have some points over here. For example, use tips in search books, such as the and, or, not, and so on. Because the way how you do search in the search engine, it will affect the results you get, how accurate, and that you cover all the aspects. Because sometimes you need to have novel work. So if you say you are having a novel work, but the examiner, when they search, okay, this work is already there, it is not novel. So that will be like, you're not getting the novelty if there is required for novelty. So let's give you example over here. How we use the Boolean, they call it Boolean, in the search engine. For example, let's have this Google search engine. You can see the Google stuff. You can pull up with the screen. Let's say, for example, I want to know about, let's say, IoT in مثلا industry, and I want the security aspect of it. Okay. So when I write it like this, without any Boolean, see here how many 6 zeros results, the hits, 220 and million تقريبا. Let's have some Boolean, like for example plus. طبعا each search engine have different, some of them they use the plus, some of them use the and. Here it goes the same again. By default in Google, the and is there. It says let's say fishery in this. So see the result. If I want to use the IoT technology in fishery industry, I got like 9,000 hits. If I take out these stations, see the hits? About 13 million. A huge difference between, I say, like 3,000 and 13 million hits. So when you use the Boolean in search engines, that narrow down your research and you have less hits. So this is one tip related to the technical tips. Variation of Scholar search engine. So don't depend just in one search engine. Why? Because different search engine can give you different results and different depth as well. Plus, some search engines have like open source, open access. Some of them don't have open access, but at least you are covering a higher spectrum. So for example, over here, I go for Google industry, and then so it gives me this hits. Okay, the 9,000. But the 9,000s are in general research result. In Scholar, I need to use Google Scholar. So in Google, there is Google Scholar, which is specific for researcher. And it will return back for you research papers. See how many hits? 176. So over here, when you read, at least you are reading some papers that are published, like maybe journal, conferences, and so on. And even you can see where is the organization. It is IEEE, Science Direct, and so on. Okay, so this is regarding different, let's say, search engine. Maybe if I take this one and we use Masada. By the way, Masada is open source, open for us in here in the university. And it's special for the, oh, they let me out. So if you are having your account, you just go there, and because it's already paid, and some of the, let's say, papers, you cannot find them somewhere else because it needs payment. Okay, I do search. Do you see the result? 5, 6. While the Google give me like 176. So there you are narrowing down, and even you might have different, let's say, results, and then you can go and just find out. So here example like Scholar, Google Scholar, the IEEE itself. By the way, we have access in IEEE here in Masada. if you go to the, come over here, because some of the IEEE you cannot access them because you have to have some subscriptions, okay? But since our library subscribed through Masadir, so we can log to IEEE through here. See here? So when you go there, you can access even the sorry, the papers which need payment. Okay, so this is different. Let's say search engines. Even if someone have some Arabic kind of research, they can find Arabic search engine for researcher. So this is Habari, and different disciplines have different kind of, let's say, search engine for scholar. And for example, for engineering or science in general, and IT, computer science, we are going for the ACM. ACM is one of the libraries which is high quality library, and you can find them. Maybe some of the indexed in Web of Science and so on. So all those different, let's say, search engines. Or you can go directly to the publisher, like journal publisher, Elsevier or Springer. Okay. Use the offered service by scholar sites to as well make your search even narrow. And for example, different sites or search engine, they can offer a lot of services. Just explore them. And for example, I want to publish in very good journal, but I don't know the journal, and I don't know which one it can fit my scope and so on. So one service that is offered by Elsevier is to find a proper journal that can fit your needs and your requirements. Okay, so let's go there. Okay, like this one. If you go for find a journal in Elsevier Finder, and for example, you want to know what are, let's say, something in this, and I don't know which one, just write the keyword, for example, OT, and then field of research. Do you want it in general, or you want to have a specific from engineering perspective or from computer science perspective, or just to leave it and then find journal. Then they show you the results, like, you know, based on your title and whatever information you provide, those journals are close to your sorry, need, microprocessor and micro systems. And then it will show there's very nice here information, like the site score, the impact factor. By the way, impact factor, for example, you can know the strength of journals. And some journals, they are long time ago, they are here in the field for a long time. They are like have a very good repetition. So the impact factor, it will have like a kind of score, which one is better and so on. As well, notice here, acceptance rate. Yani here, 40% who submit, they will get accepted. This is important for people who have deadlines, like your master or your PhD, and you have to have a journal to be published, and you have, let's say, this year you have to publish them. So you need to balance. I need to have to go for a journal that can, let's say, acceptance rate is good, and the time first decision, like they will take like 7 weeks. So it's about 1.5 months till they reply back to you. Because journal, what happened, they are pre-review. They will just see your work, and then they will say to accept or not accept. Sometimes they accept, but with minor, let's say, correction or major correction. So the times for waiting is important for some people, critical, because that time of waiting means maybe they will do a kind of vibe after, let's say, 6 months. So they have to do this application. So this information is important for people who are, let's say, time is important for them. And how long it will take to be published, like 6 weeks. So this one is very nice one, and different journals have different. You notice here, see here the impact factor of this, 3.578. This is even higher. And as you go up, this is higher. And even acceptance rate, see, 13. While the first one, the acceptance rate is 40. We don't say this is weak or something, but when the acceptance rate is going up, means this is very high quality kind of paper. Somehow we can assume it. And because they are not accepting any type of work, they are validating. The validating process with them, it is so specific, and a lot of people, I mean, they are taking care of what kind of information will be published in their journal. So this is one tool, you can use it. Okay, another tool is to scope down the research. And for example, if I have in Masada, we have here in Masada database research for what is example IoT and fishery industry. For example, I get 5, 6, but I don't want to read all this 5, 6. I want to narrow down. And for example, if you see here at this side, this is to narrow down, to refine your search. Many of the search engines have them. And for example, I just want, for example, academic journals. Because academic journals, they go through a lot of processing and reviewing, and mostly they are very, let's say, rich in information. So I got 21 results. So then I go with them. Sometimes you refer your work based on the time, publication date. I don't want something very old. Okay, for example, I wanted just from, let's say, 2000, let's say, 5 years ago, 2015 to 2020 only. We don't want the old ones. Okay. So the 21 will be, how come 26? Maybe they did not take the other, okay. There are 20, okay. So here, so this is one tool is to refine. So whenever you have a search engine, explore it. Make, let's say, use of all the, let's say, services there to make your search and work search easier. So before we proceed, yes? Yes, sir.
This is Dunaman chemistry. Chemistry too.
There you are limited.
Laboratory technician. Laboratory technician. क्या बचा है?
Who are talking? Hello?
Maybe down.
Yeah. Sorry, Doctor.
So good.
Continue, please.
It's okay, don't worry at all. After we finish the technical skills, I'll open the floor for questions. So part 2 of technical skills is writing tips. So over here, before you start write, just find out your weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses that when I talk and I write, my writing is like talking. And like when someone is explaining in discussion, which is not good in formal writing or research academic writing. Because the way how to write sentences is different when speaking English. So you need to know the differences. Speaking English is different than writing and so on. So this is like weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses, you can improve yourself. Yeah, like for example, sometimes if I have very long sentences and the joins, for example, I cannot use, for example, nowadays, there are some phrases that is not good to have them in formal writing. So that's why you need to, let's say, improve yourself in this matter, because if you know your weaknesses, you can, let's say, be better. Another thing is to learn from others. And for example, if I want to publish in a journal, before I go and write, I'll go for the past, let's say, previous published papers in the same journal, and they have been accepted. So I'll go through them. So since they are accepted, so the way or the style of their writing is accepted by, let's say, the committee or the auditors. So you can learn from other authors. You can learn from your friends. Why not? Because sometimes when you talk to your friends and you, oh, they have done that kind of things to make their writing better, oh, let me learn from them. And from networking. And now different ways of network, social media networks and every networks. So try to improve your writing style by knowing other styles. And then you can have your own stuff. You can have your own, let's say, fingerprint and writing style. So this is good to improve as well. And writing as well, use reference software. As if you can use automated software, will be better. Don't do just like manual writing. Because when you write a paper, sometimes like the short one is 6 papers, it can go for 40 papers. If you do things manually, it will give you like a lot of time to just find out the updates and so on. One software which I'm using is Mendeley. There are other type as well, but I use like now more than like how many years? Since 2014. So it's about like about 6 years or more. So Mendeley is nice and easy to use. Why? Let's explore it with me. So Mendeley, first of all, when you have Mendeley, let's go to Masadir. Did you see this icon? Mendeley Web Importer. So if I want to add a reference to my database of references, I will just very easy, I can add it from the website itself, and it will be added there automatically. So the database looks something like this. A lot of stuff here. Let me close this one. This is my Mendeley. Because if you want to keep a lot of references, later on you have a huge of references, it will be very difficult to manage. So you need to use some management software for references. So this is the Mendeley. This is all the references. You can see what is the latest one, added one. I use it since 2014. And now this is, let's say, it gives all the information. You can group them in folders and so on. And so there's a lot of, it is easy to use on my side. And as well, it has many, let's say, services like to import. You can have it here, import in your website. So if you are here or in Google Scholar, I can just, for example, I like one of those and I want to add them in my database. And by the way, you have online and offline. So wherever you are going, you have your references with you, in your laptop or somewhere else. So this is very good, let's say, feature as well. So it comes like here, the engine, and it will ask you which one you want to have. So the Mendeley start to read the references. Let's say I want this one, and then it says, okay, select it, add it to my database. So it is added in the database. I'll go to the database, for example, and do refresh to synchronize. Then, and then to see the latest one now, 1139. See, all the information is there, done automatically. And before it goes as well, it will ask you, are you sure this all information correct? You can go through them and make sure all the details are correct, or maybe something is not correct. And then, okay, it's correct. So this is the good thing about Mendeley. And if you want to have it like different kind of referencing to import it, it can be imported in different ways. Yeah, like for example, if it is in Word, you can have here in the top references. You can plug it in. It is a plug-in. See, it is plugged in here. And for example, if I write something blah 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 blah, and I want to add a reference, I can select what kind of referencing style, IEEE, Harvard, and so on, and then make sure you are design. Okay, there. And then I insert the reference. So this is the one which I just add. So insert. So it comes like this. And if I want to have my biography, the whole list of reference, I just type insert biography. So all the list will be there. So this is the list. This. And then, for example, you go blah, 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 blah. And then, for example, I want to add some references. Let's say in IoT. Okay, I want this. And I want another one. I want this. So it can merge stuff. See here, it merged by itself. And automatically it goes down. So this tool is very good tool to have referencing in your research. It will save time. It will, let's say, make things organized, and you can select what tools that it is you prefer. So there are a lot of tools. So let's go next. Try to keep my eye on the time, so still we have time. Okay. So this is like writing tips, is to have some referencing software, make your life easier. As well, find convenient editing tool. Some people they like MS Word, and usually when you go for a conference or a journal, they have templates. Mostly the templates are either in Word or LaTeX. Okay, and each of them have advantages and disadvantages. Yani MS Word is easy to use for people who every day use them. But the problem with MS Word, if you are exceeding the number of papers, let's say if someone is doing PhD thesis, the thesis sometimes reaching even like 200, 300 pages. MS Word, you need to have a lot of tweaks to work on it. Because if you exceed like about 40 pages in MS Word, it starts to stuck. If they still are stuck, it starts to like not easy to manage. So it depends on the place where you want. And to use either MS Word. If it does not fit, you go for LaTeX. And I prefer LaTeX more because you will forget about the styling. The LaTeX, it gives like you are just writing, all the style things will be done automatically and it is consistent. We have styling as well in MS Word, but this one is more, I feel it more professional. Okay, so you can explore LaTeX if you like, because most of you know MS Word. But if you want to explore LaTeX and it is the first time for you, I recommend this website. And this, by the way, the website which I use to learn by myself. Let's take you there. So this LaTeX, it is powered with Overleaf. So if you notice here, it will have like, let's have one of them to show you how it looks like. So the people who are working, let's say, this is a testing, this looks like testing again. Then it will be like a programming, and it has some folders like the pictures, .ping. I have to have the class. For example, IEEE has a template and has all the style. See here the style, the PDF. So this is done because of this class. So I don't bother myself to do alignment for here and there. No, everything everything is there in the class. I'm just doing the writing. Okay. So you're writing in the main text, this one, and you start writing. So if you are just needs a little bit of understanding how it goes, the one who are familiar with HTML and so on, the tags will be easy for them. Even if you are not familiar and you need some support, the site itself, it has tutorials. See here, the help. For example, this is the first time for P in LaTeX. So here the documentation will give you everything about LaTeX, how to work, how to use it, different classes and images, for example, over here, and so on. So it will give you the whole tutorial plus examples. And if I click one of them, they will very easy to learn, and they will tell you steps and templates and so on. Even sometimes, for example, I don't know how to do tables. Okay, they will say to you this is different type of tables and so on, blah, blah, blah. And this is how you build it. And then even you can see, yeah, you can see the code itself here. Open an example. It will show you an example how it looks like. Okay, so it is. Some people find it easy. Some people they find it difficult. But depends on the why I want to use it. If the word doing the job is okay, I will go for the word. If the word makes me hectic and I cannot use it, I need something like not to follow specific style, I'll go here. So it depends on the needs, but it's good to explore LaTeX. Some people, if you go further in LaTeX, this website will not be enough, for example, then you need to download some softwares like this. This is called Text Studio. So the things will come in PDF, you can see them, you can buy them. This is your installed, I downloaded and installed it. Okay. Even if I want to have my references, I can have file of references. So basically this is used for very, let's say, long piece of research or work, like thesis, like Jordan, okay, where there's a lot of things you need to take care about. So this is LaTeX, if you want to explore it. This is itself can be another tutorial or workshop. Okay. Even MS Team, it has a lot of features. You can explore them. Yani MS Team has a lot of features there. Try as much as you can. Don't do things manually edit. Try to use the features to make them auto. And for example, the picture. If I have a picture, I don't need to write the caption by my hand. I suppose to use the auto features in MS Team. I mean, in MS Team. This is my mistake. MS Word. Okay. So for example, here, this is MS Word. Let's say I'm having something here. Let's say I'm having a picture. Or table is here. Okay. I have this table. I want to add a caption title for the table. Let's say for research caption. I want my table, for example, IoT, for example. Okay, so it is here. And during the text, while I'm writing, blah, 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 I want to refer to the table. I should not write it in blah, 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 because sometimes we'll add another table. And then, oh, did I update there? Did I update down? So that makes it hectic. So use the tools in MS Team like MS Word, like, for example, here insert. I go to insert, cross-referencing. And then I say, well, I want to refer in this table. I don't want the entire caption. I just want the labels. And then I will insert the table. So table one, for example, show our blah, blah, blah things. So whenever there is update another table, third or fourth table, it will be updated automatically. I don't need to match this table one here or there, okay? So you need to explore the tools you are using to make your life easier, okay? So this is, you can go through a lot of, let's say, maybe YouTube or even the help itself. So this is from the technical side, because when you do research, you need to save your time as much as you can. Okay. So this is regarding technical skills in general. So they are related to the search, where to search, search engines, how to use the surfaces there in those search engines, as well as writing tips in terms of the software you use, the styling, okay, the editing, the references, for example, the software and so on. So this is in general some tips related to technical skills. Any question before we proceed? You have like 1 minute question. Yes. Okay, so if no question, we're gonna proceed. Okay. Let me put a lot of stuff here, make it easier for me. Okay. So let's proceed. So those some technical skills. Let's go to the other skills. And then intellectual skills. This list, by the way, it is coming from a report published by World Economic Forum. And over there, they are looking for the job in the market in the coming years till 2025. In that report, they as well find out the top skills wanted in the job market. Okay? So here, if you notice, this is the top 15. Analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, and so on. If you notice, those skills a researcher need to have them as well. If I get example, here the analytical thinking. Analytical thinking job require analyzing information and using logic to address work-related issues and problems. Basically, why we are doing research? To solve some problems or to close some gaps, or there are challenges we need to find a solution for them, as we have discussed at the beginning. Okay, so this skill is important to analyze these things, to see the information and see where is what is the connection between them, what is the logical flow between them, and how I can use all this information to solve the problem. Okay, even the complex problem solving here. Normally, some problems, they are so complex, so I need to have the skill how to divide, to break down the problem, okay? And then to see how to solve this part in here and then part there. So this is important as well. And the rest, somehow this will be related. If you have them, it will support you as a researcher. Technology use. Nowadays, not just people in IT are supposed to know technology. Now, even for the future skills, the categories, they considered the knowledge in technology like a basic skill. Many people, and most of the people need at least the basic technology skills. So even if they have different disciplines. So this is regarding, so how this is related to, let's say, our topic today. Because you need the skill of breaking down things and finding out the links in doing research. And this is an example of one of my research regarding the actuarial science. By the way, I won this prize, and I thought that maybe I will not go, but I'll say when I start, let me go for this, I will be the first winner. It comes or not, at least because I need to encourage myself, okay? So the problem was to enhance actuarial science using technology. When I saw the actuarial science, what is this? Even I don't know it. But let me have a look. And even when you see something new, don't say, no, this is not my business. I don't have anything to do there. No, just explore. Maybe you have something there to provide. Because as I said at the beginning, sometimes the research help different disciplines to work together. Okay? So actuarial science is coming from the what is called business side for the تأمينات اجتماعية, what is called تأمينات insurance company use them. Okay, so insurance have those kind of science, and I see myself, okay, I'm in the computer science, so what is the link? So before I go and proceed, I just ask yourself, what is this new stuff? What is actuarial science? So the first thing they have done, I just go to Google and type out the actuarial science. Sometimes you find those stuff support, it will help you to distinguish what is this. You don't need to read a lot of stuff. Sometimes when you want to know something, no need to read every single book, let's say, or a lot of pages to know what is this. You can have just look to something like this kind of wording to give you a hint. Is this the one close to my side, or no, it is very far away, so just leave it. So when I go to there and I say, oh, there is math skills. Oh, I'm good at math. There is data, or there is data. So in computer science, they are dealing with data. Analysis, okay, is good. What else? So esteeming professional long-term, analytics are involved. Okay, assess skills. So this will give you a clue. Is this, let's say, area close to you or not? Statistic, okay, I'm good in stat. So like something like this. And then what I have, before you throw yourself in research and just because the time is wealth. So we'll try ourselves. Our best is not to waste our time in something that at the end will go for nothing. You can have some time to explore things. Some time, let's say you need to do a little bit of research to figure out, but don't spend longer time and then will come up with nothing. Okay, so that time is important. So you need at least to base yourself with something that you are strong on it. So after I have seen what is actuarial science, okay, math is there, statistics is there, computer is there. I have some of the AI, so I use it there and so on. And then what I need to find out. So then actuarial science itself, there is a lot of problems in actuarial science. So I tried my best is to find something, a problem or a gap in actuarial science that can be solved with technology. Okay, so this is how you can find, let's say, something, an overlap between one another, let's say, disciplines. And then what is the link between different elements? Okay, so we have math, AI, business side. So how all those stuff is linked together. So if you find out the link, then you can proceed. And for example, in computer science, we have artificial intelligence, underneath it machine learning, there's some deep learning. Okay, there's something called data science. It links with statistics and math, and actuarial science using statistics and math. Okay, there is a link between me and here. Okay, so here is how to link things or different elements to solve problems from different disciplines. So through this, the link can come here. So I can use data science to solve some problems in actuarial science. And over here, so data, there is some data analysis. If you notice in the actuarial, there are something about data. So there's some big data and so on, different big data and so on. So this is how you can use intellectual skills to support your research, become something out of the blue. So something that is beneficial for people. Because if you do a research that's significant and solve other people to solve their problems, then you are doing something good in your research. Okay, so this is what I meant about intellectual skills. Okay. The other soft skills that everyone know them, like time management. Everyone have like 24 hours and 7 days. But how that some people can make use of their time better than others. Yani when you say they don't have time, then you don't have time. Because you tell your brain that you don't have time. Okay? But you need to use some tricks and tips to make use of your time, like the power of now. I cannot control the future, but the past is going, but I can control the current time in my hand. Okay, so you can go and read about it. There is something called the power of now. There's some sort of, let's say, mechanism you can follow. Another thing for time management is to prioritize. You need to do prioritization to make use of your time. Okay, what is come first, what is next, and so on. And then based on that, you will do your work. Okay, or you are divide your time in the day. Okay, and use different tools to support you. Okay, so here, for example, for prioritization, you can use this kind of matrix, like the urgent, important, not important, and then you do the things like, based on these categories. So the one which is urgent and important, you have to do them. It is important but not urgent, let me plan it to do it next week or whatever. If it is not important but it's urgent, like in your department, something, maybe I can delegate it or give someone else to do it. If it is not important, not urgent, just close it down, delete it. Because this kind of prioritizing, you can, let's say, do more productive. You can be more productive. You can do a lot of stuff which is significant for you, for yourself. So this is one tool, you can use it. Another tool is like, by the way, this is Excel. You see the calendar? It is a ready template in Excel sheet. So you just go there and open the template and you can find them. So here is a good tool for yourself to plan. And for example, this year the grade is like holidays, and let's say this day I have this stuff, so I cannot like how many days I have for the deadline. The same having deadline here, this pink. Okay, so how many days left for me so to accomplish this deadline. So here you can use, let's say, different tools. As well, you can use the to-do list. Everyone have the list. Okay, so basically I use the paper because what I think, there is a link between your hand and your brain. Okay, so if you write things with your hand, somehow, I don't know, there is something about, not just philosophy, even there's a lot of studies. When you write stuff with hands that make you, let's say, organize the chunk in your brain easily. Okay, so you can use like this kind of diary, and you can plan to-do list like by hours, use colors, and even you can know when this is not finished or something need to follow up next day and so on. So time management is itself a skill, but it is critical in research because in research sometimes you have deadlines and you need to meet the deadlines. Documentation management. You will end up with a lot of papers, drafts, and so on. So you need to manage your document wisely. As well, use templates. Okay, mostly the publishers give templates and the styling of the papers. Just start writing there because you don't want to waste your time and do styling and changing. So use templates whenever it's there. Try to have logical flow. So in your documentation management, you can have kind of mind map to have the logical flow of things. So the document, even if it is like 40 pages, the person who will read it, he can see the flow. Because some papers, they are rejected because the flow is not like the reader, when they go, they feel oh, there is something missing, or the line is cut here and goes over there. So when you, as a writer, sometimes you don't feel it because you are writing and you think it is going well and it is understood. But when someone else read it, they feel there is a cut in the logical flow. So how you can solve it? You can have kind of mind mapping to see the things how it's related. And then when you come to write it down, it is the logic flows easier. Okay. Project management. So the research itself is a project. Okay, so you need to manage it wisely, and you have to have working plan for it. For example, something like this working plan. You need to have the tasks for this research, what other tasks I want to do, when I start this task, how many days, who will do it, what at the end of this task I should deliver. So by this, you can manage your research project and you can meet the deadlines easily. Okay, so we are done with all the tips. Technical skills, intellectual skills, and other soft skills. Okay, so this is just some tips that might help you. Now we'll proceed to next. Channel for publications. I think most of you know them, but just for people who are a bit new. There are this example. There may be others. There are conference paper, journal papers, like and book chapter, for example. Normally, what is the different conference papers? They will have an announcement, call for paper, and it will be like nowadays it's good because most of them will be online, so you can participate. And the length is like between 6 to 12 pages. But here you or one of the team have to present in that conference. Okay, and there are some fees to be paid. Different fees depends on the location, the place. Even the people who host it and so on. Journal paper considered somehow in the quality or let's say in depth is more. And even for let's say PhD people, let's say students or MSc students, if they publish a journal, it'd be like more let's say ranking in the degree in a conference. Okay. And normally journal papers from 10 pages to 40 pages depends on the requirements of that journal. Again, there are some fees. Some of them for free, it depends. Some of them because of the scholar. Let's say if you have a scholarship, they will pay for you and so on. Okay. Book chapter, the same thing. Different publishers have different books, have different specifications. Okay. But at the end of the story, all of them, it is a kind of writing research. All of them have references. All of them, they have to be logically connected. The difference is the length, maybe, and how specific the information required there. So this is the example of a channel where you can publish your work. And this as well will be good in your, let's say, CV or academic, and like how many papers you have published, how many journals you have published. That will be good in ranking your research ability. But the end of story does not mean how many. It is the quality. Sometimes people have like 1 or 3, but the quality is very high. Then people have 20 publications. So you need to balance, okay, to have very good quality papers. How I do the quality? Okay, how can I figure out? Okay, first of all, make sure to refer to acceptable and trustworthy references. Because sometimes if you read a publication, but it's not from a very trusted source, and then you build your analysis based on that result, and then you go for something wrong or wrong direction. Okay, so you need, when you read something, first see as well from where it is published, where is the index. Okay, so how I figure out? Through ranking tools, there are different ranking tools to see the ranking of conference or journal or even books. Through organization and petition, and for example, IEEE well known, SM well known, but even among themselves, the IEEE and the SM, there are some ranking as well. Even you can just Google it. And for example, you want to publish somewhere, but you don't know the quality of that, you just Google it and see different perspective. And don't go for one opinion only. See different opinion from different sources to judge. Okay. As well for journals, you can go for ranking journals like this website. It will show the ranking as an image. I just have it, I think. So you can see the ranking over there, or based on the repetition of the publisher, or where it's indexed. Something called indexed. Indexed mean, like the indexing. Indexing like it's a kind of a database where they index all this kind of application. So some indexes, they are not they don't put any, they are kind of have filtering to index. They don't put any application there. They have a mechanism to just take all the, let's say, the good quality research. One of them is the Web of Science. Okay. So this is in general, because if you want to spend your time, spend it in something that is a good and, let's say, acceptable quality, okay? Because it is affected on you as well sometimes. Because if you, let's say, you have very great job, but you publish it in a place which is not that high rank, like your work, it will be like going down somehow. So you need to balance the story. So I think I reached to the end of my presentation today. And thank you for your attending. Hopefully you learned something from today, and the floor is open for you to ask questions. If you want to communicate with me for any support or anything, this is my email and my LinkedIn account, and I'm happy to receive questions.
Thank you, Dr. Shada Al-Amri, and thanks everyone. It's so informative, mashallah. If anyone has any question, please ask. It's a chance for discussion.
Hello, Dr.
Maybe
Arwa. Anyway, so
thank you for the
are going to be sent for free as well, so the participants can.
I think no. I think there is Arwa. Yes, Arwa.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Can hear my voice? Hello.
Yes, madam.
You
Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit, but go ahead.
Actually, I want to suggest one tool for doing literature survey.
Okay.
Like what you told, we can do by using Google Scholar in the beginning. I will share a link actually. Where is that link? Wait one.
Google Scholar too.
No, that is very good actually. SysRim. I will share the link, madam. I use it for publishing some papers.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it provides AI support. It will just you have to enter the keys. Automatically, it will search the papers from all over the web. And it will also provide you which paper, the probability, which paper is more important, which paper is less important.
Oh, okay. So to give like kind of.
It is based on AI. Yeah, that is very good tool. I will share the link.
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I have used actually, I published recently 2 papers, one in Elsevier, one in Springer. There I use this tool, it helps a lot.
Yes,
So I
please
want to
share
share
with us. We can learn from
Yeah,
it.
it will help actually if somebody want to use it.
Great.
Yeah.
You can write it in the chat there, so you can please.
Yeah, I will write, I will share the link also, and it is really very good. Specifically for literature survey.
Yeah.
It will show all the statistics, all the articles, automatically it will search from all over the web. PubMed, Google Scholar, everything.
Right.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah,
Okay,
that
sir.
I will share with you. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, madam.
Anyone has any questions or any comment, please? Maybe nobody, because a lot of information you give it to them, mashallah, doctor.
Yeah,
So
thank you, Doctor.
finally,
This is
yes,
There's
Fawad.
someone.
this is
There is
this is
some-
Arul
yes.
from Engineering Department. Doctor, you have discussed about the latex format of preparing for the journals. So I would like to request you to give a separate session on how to write basic papers, because we know that the published journals can be published in many the papers can be published in many journals such as the SCI journals. We have Springer and elsewhere. So many of them are having a basic knowledge that how to write a paper using the latex format. That is what the current world is moving on, how to write it in the latex, because normally the traditional method we are following is writing in the Word format and we are uploading the paper according to the template given by the consent journals. So now most of the journals are moving towards the latex. So it will be another knowledge session if you have give us another session on the latex, how to write a paper on latex format according to some of the journals which have impact factors also.
Yeah, sure. Inshallah, I'll just communicate with Fakhriya to have another session in latex in the coming months. And inshallah, we'll be happy to provide it.
Ma'am, I have shared the link with you, Dr. Shada.
Yeah.
You can
now I
check
see.
it here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So I just shared as well for everyone here. So
Okay.
just put it
I
here
fo-
in the book.
Yeah, I found it
Share
extremely
in the
useful.
chat,
Yeah.
sir, in the chat. And just put it in
I
the
put
chat.
in the chat box already. So thank you, sir, for sharing. Yes, any other questions? We have like about maybe like 10 minutes.
Doctor, if you would like to go through the link with this, what he sent, if you would like to go for all, they can get benefits from that also.
I just share it in the chat room.
خلاص, all right.
Yeah, it's there in the chat
Yeah,
room.
if you anybody want to explore it more, I can discuss later, no problem.
Yeah, which is good. And here this is the
Yeah.
screen, you can see it.
It
So
is very
looks
good for
nice.
literature survey. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
tool, yes. You
And it
can
can
search
see
your
it's-
keys, yani you can make the keys what you want to search using and or maybe 2-3 times. It will show all the relevant papers, and also it will remove duplicate also automatically.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Dr. Shada.
Yes, so
Yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah, I used it actually. If you want, I can show my projects, what I did. If
Yeah,
you have
that's
time
great. Thank
now.
you.
If I will share my screen just.
Let me take this out.
Yeah. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually I did one paper recently I published it. That's for that I used it. You can create the account. Everything is free. This one is right now I am using. Where is the another one? Just wait.
Okay.
Home, yeah. Projects. Yeah, this one I published already. So it will show you all the statistics. Yani, this is what chart it is showing. It is based on AI and your search. These are the terms here like EMCI. My search is related with Alzheimer and deep learning. So it is showing all the relevant, we can say features.
Looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it is very good actually, madam. Yeah, all the included papers, all the excluded papers, everything you can see. Like I found 215 articles. Yeah, so you can include, you can exclude very easily. And all the information, all the analytics, it will maintain automatically. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you,
madam.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So if anybody want to use it, let me know. I will help. No problem. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
further questions or even adding extra knowledge to learn from each other?
Yeah.
Okay,
Then
Dr.
yeah.
Dr. Shada.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
thank you. Yeah.
Somebody want to ask? That's enough. I think that's enough. Thank you again, Dr. Shada Al-Amri. Thanks for everyone who are attending this session. Actually, just I want to inform you that you're going to find in your email, we're going to send it after Eid, inshallah, the feedback of each training course you attend. So please fill the feedback. Then you will get the certificate. It will upload immediately in your PC. So please, it's necessary to fill the feedback. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the certificate. Okay, and be close from the next sessions, inshallah, for May also. We have a lot of sessions. Be close from the training page. Thank you and have a nice day. Thanks, Doctor, again.
Thank you very much. See you around.
See you.